Welcome into Mavericks Today. Harrison Graham and Jeffrey Cooperstein. We got a couple of rumors to hit following the Tim Hardaway Jr. trade. One of these stories had been surfaced before the trade. Another one after. Some pretty interesting stuff. So we're going to get into that coming up in just a moment. But Coop, tell the people why they should share this video.
Yeah, we're trying to get this video out to as many Mavs fans as we can, and a super easy thing to help us do that is by sharing the video. So go ahead and click that share button, and then select the Twitter/X icon and click post to Twitter. You can tag me in the tweet, and I'll give you a shout-out on a future show. Just be sure to shout out myself and Harrison. We'll get you guys taken care of. So please, we would love it if you guys would share the show, and we have a lot of exciting stuff planned for the offseason here, so can't wait.
Free agency getting going Sunday. We'll have our top free agent targets tomorrow, so stay tuned for that as well. Let's start with this report. This one surfaced kind of the night of round 2 of the draft, I believe. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he opted out of his player option, and Marc Stein had this to say. League sources say that there would be mutual interest in free agency between Caldwell-Pope and Dallas, but Dallas could only get into Caldwell-Pope's projected salary via a sign and trade. It's believed that the Nuggets do not want to participate in a sign and trade with an in-conference rival. Look, I like KCP. I know you do too. He's been on 2 of the last 4 finals winners, the Lakers and the bubble. He played a key role on the Nuggets team. And not only was he on those teams, like he played clear roles and played well for those teams. Good 3-and-D player. You look at the numbers here. He's been a sniper from deep for several years now, going from Denver's offense with Jokic's passing to a Luka offense where he's ready to catch and shoot. Should be a seamless fit. Now, obviously, Coop, the note from Marc Stein where he said that Denver may not be willing to trade with a conference rival. It's like, well, if you're going to lose him for nothing, like – what I mean, would you rather lose him for nothing, not knowing where he's going to go, or would you rather get back a piece or two, which we'll talk about in a minute? Here's an interesting fact as well. He might be commanding pretty big money here.
Yeah, Stein said that KCP could exceed the deal that his former teammate Bruce Brown got from the Indiana Pacers, who was then obviously traded to Toronto in the Pascal Siakam deal. Brown signed a 2-year, $45 million deal last offseason with the player option after year 1, and look, if KCP's getting more than that, are we thinking it's 2 for $50? That's a hefty price to pay if you're the Dallas Mavericks. And I know KCP's a good player, but are you giving a guy like that $25 million?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. You'd like to get him at like 18 to 20, but if he's 3 for 75, 2 for 50, like, I mean, I guess on a 2-year deal I'd be open to it because then you're just aligning him up with a lot of your players and you know, you're flexible in a couple of years, but I don't know, like that's a lot of money. And if it is going to be in that 20-plus range, I think this is kind of the framework, right? I mean, Josh Green, Jaden Hardy, and Dwight Powell kind of get you to around $20 million. So, you know, maybe you trade for them, give them 3 for $60.
Yeah.
Again, whether or not Denver's willing to do it, I don't know. But if you're Denver, ask yourself, like, are you going to find for sure one guy who could play at a playoff rotation in Josh Green, probably a second on that team that's a little thin on its bench in Jaden Hardy. Obviously, Dwight Powell is not a guy that should be playing for a contender in the playoffs. Are you going to find a Green and Hardy in free agency if you let Caldwell-Pope walk when you don't have that much flexibility? They're already going to give Jamal Murray max deal. They're in the tax. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if I'm the Nuggets, I'm at least entertaining this because – what are your other options out there?
Yeah, I don't know what the Nuggets are thinking. I mean, they're obviously weighing the fact that KCP would really help the Mavs and make them a better team. But at the same time, they don't want to lose him for nothing, and this is an avenue in which they can do that. Now, maybe they find enough sign and trade with another team, and
sure.
they'd
Eastern
prefer
Conference
that.
Team, maybe.
Exactly, but yeah, I mean, if this is the deal that the Mavs are offering, and they're like, here, take it or leave it. If the Mavs are comfortable leaving it, I can see the Nuggets at least considering this offer. I'm not saying it's a sure thing by any means, but you're finding a young player in Jaden Hardy who showed that he's not afraid of the moment, can play in the postseason, and then you have a guy in Josh Green who's cost controllable for the next 3 seasons at right around $13 million a year. So it's an enticing deal, I think, but I'm not sure if the Nuggets would want to help out the Mavs at the end of the day, but I hope they would if the Mavs. can end up agreeing to this deal.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're Denver, you basically just get a discount KCP with Josh Green, who, in theory, still has the arrow pointing up. How much, that's to be debated. KCP's he's 31, man.
31.
So, like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see this play out, but I understand why the Mavs are interested. They need more wing help. They need a guy who can knock down open threes. What do you guys think? Would you do a sign and trade for KCP similar to that trade compensation, type Y for yes, type in for no? I think I'd do it, especially if you can keep him around 20, 22 a year. I mean, that still feels high, but again, if it's on a 2-year deal, like that lines up with your like a lot of your other contracts. So I think I would probably pull the trigger on that. Now, we broke down the Tim Hardaway Jr. trade earlier today, talked about the Derrick Jones impact of that deal, Quentin Grimes coming over as well. So go check that out. Hit the subscribe button. Go to the content tab. Once you see this thumbnail, click on it, and you will be watching that video. Check out our other content, too. Broke down the Mavs draft pick and a whole lot more. And, of course, future content will be coming your way as well. Oh, baby.
Oh, boy.
Klay Thompson. Now, if this was one of those from Jake Fisher or Michael Scotto, I'd be like, we'll talk about it, but it's probably not that legit. But, again, when Marc Stein talks about the Mavericks, it's relevant because – I think he's the most connected insider to that franchise. Tim McMahon probably a close second. But
this isn't flip-flop fish saying Brunson's re-signing with the Mavs. This is a legit.
You're not going to see a Marc Stein quote tweet.
It's fucking rare.
It's fucking insert free agent. I'm so sorry, y'all.
That won't happen. We trust Marc Stein when it comes to all the Mavericks news and rumors. And he dropped this nugget right before we were about to film, and he said that league sources tell the Stein line, which is his Substack, go check it out, that the Mavericks, with some newfound flexibility after securing the Tim Hardaway to Detroit trade, are another team intent on exploring the feasibility of signing Thompson once he makes it to free agency. Those are a bunch of words. What does intent on exploring the feasibility mean?
Once free agency opens, they're going to call him?
Exactly.
I don't know what else that means, but it means they're interested on some level. Again, it would have to be a sign and trade. I just wonder, like, what's the money for Klay at this point? Because I think if he was satisfied with what Golden State was offering, he would just go back there.
Yep.
So that tells me, like, he thinks he can still get 30 plus. Like, I don't think the Mavs are paying that.
I don't think so.
The question is anyone? And if no one is, then if you're Klay, wouldn't you just go back to Golden State for whatever they offer? But maybe he's just like, screw it. I'm going to start over somewhere
I don't know.
else.
Yeah, it seems like that relationship with Klay and Golden State has soured a little bit over the last year or so. They've kind of been trying to negotiate a deal, and nothing's really come close. Look, Klay can still score the basketball, man. He's still a very efficient three-point shooter, 38.5% last year, 9 attempts as well, average almost 18 a game as a whole. He still can do it at a pretty high level. Where he has really fallen off is his defensive ability.
Yeah.
He can't guard anybody anymore. Like, he is not a plus on that end, whereas he used to be one of the best defensive guards in the NBA, and now he can't do that at all. So, all things considered, if the contracts are the same, you would have a choice to make between KCP and Klay Thompson, I believe. And if they are the same, I think I would offer Golden State the exact same sign-and trade, where the Mavs would be getting Klay, and it would be Green, Hardy, and Powell going the other way.
The safe move is definitely KCP. You know what you have there.
Yep.
Like, he's not a star. He's not even an all-star, but he can start. He can come off the bench. He'll give you probably 9 to 12 points, and he'll shoot 40+% from three, and he'll defend 1 through 3s very well. Klay Thompson, can he get a little bit of the defense back? That seems unlikely, but he also has a better chance to be a 20-point scorer. Yep. You would think he could. He didn't shoot bad from three last year, but if someone out of those two is going to shoot 43, 44%, he's probably more likely to do it. So it's kind of what do you want to gamble on? Do you want to gamble on Klay playing a little better than he did last year, or do you want to kind of take the guaranteed 10 to 12 points, 40% 3-and-D that KCP is going to offer, whereas Klay probably isn't going to defend that well?
Yeah.
I'd probably rather just take the sure thing because you've got, I think, enough scoring. I know the finals would suggest otherwise, but they also just couldn't make a shot. And
right.
KCP is going to help you there. Like, You shot 17% on wide open catch and shoot threes. KCP's a knockdown shooter.
And I'm gonna also value KCP's defense as well. I think that's a big factor in this. If he shoots a little less from three but plays way better defense, I think the pros outweigh the cons with KCP. But let us know down in the comments what you think. Would you rather have KCP or Klay Thompson? I'm excited. I think it'll be a spirited debate down there in the comment section.
Look, if you told me Klay Thompson could be an above-average defender, I'd gamble. I don't think he can be average.
I don't think so either.
And if that's the case, like, I don't know. I think I'd rather go KCP. I mean, I'm sure I'd talk myself into it if it happens.
Oh, of course we would. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels risky. I mean, here's what I'm scared of, Coop. You sign him, let's just say it's 3 for 75. You trade out Green, Hardy, whatever. You're 25 games in, and you're like, holy shit, he's done.
Yep.
Like, he'll knock down the occasional three, but that's literally it.
It's scary. And then he had the ACL and the Achilles injury, so
he's been healthy the last 2 years, but his physical tools have been greatly diminished because of those injuries. Like, are those going to come back at his age? I doubt it.
I doubt it too. Yeah, I'm taking KCP, but let us know what you guys think. Just a quick note before we get out of here: Dante Exum's deal is guaranteed tomorrow, and Tim McMahon had the note that he's fully in the Mavericks plan, so his deal will be guaranteed. He'll be on the Mavericks roster next year at around $3 million or so, an absolute steal for Exum after he had a great season last year.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it was good to see him kind of bounce back in the finals. Obviously, he wasn't a huge factor in the playoff run, but give him a little confidence boost into the offseason because he played great in the regular season. And, you know, I would say all things equal, he'll have a rotation role in the regular season again and hopefully in the playoffs next year. So excited to have him. Great find by Nico and the staff last year, and hopefully he builds off the best season of his career.
Coming tomorrow on the channel, we will have veteran minimum targets, and we're looking at 10 guys who the Mavericks can sign, so please stay tuned for that. Then Sunday, NBA free agency gets going. If the Mavs sign anybody or make a trade, we'll have you covered here on the channel, so be sure to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to share the video. I'm giving shout-outs on a future show, so please do that.
Peace out.